right. So this movie I think is very good on a technical level. I think though that some people have accused it of having style over substance, which I think is somewhat true. Because I think that the substance that's there is kind of troubling at times. So on a technical level, I would probably give this movie a 9 out of 10. But I'm not honestly sure who I'd recommend it to. So that's all I'll say for now.
Yeah, it mostly is style over substance, and it doesn't help that like the whole thing is very morally gray, so it's hard to get behind any of the characters. They are very likable characters generally, but yeah.
And rating.
I'll give it a 7.5.
I don't feel it's style over substance. For me, the plot was pretty, it was a deep story, had a lot going on, a lot of characters. Maybe not a ton of character development, but very interesting characters, and I really liked it. I would give it a 9 out of 10. I wouldn't recommend it to everyone simply due to the extreme amount of violence and there's not an extreme amount of nudity, but certain people I wouldn't recommend it to for that reason.
Do you rate it?
Yeah, 9 out of 10.
Oh. Yeah, obviously stylistically it's amazing. The action, really good. The acting kind of faltered a little bit here and there, that's what I felt, but I didn't really have a problem with this story. I thought it worked with what they were doing. I didn't think it was like weak or like just too much stylistically. Like, I thought it was just pretty much the perfect fit. Like, if you're doing something that's that heavy stylistically, you don't really want to pack it down with like this really like indulging plot and like a ton of characters and like just I feel like it would just be like too overwhelming. So I thought it fit perfectly, and I I'd give it a 9 out of 10.
Okay, so I'm going to elaborate on what I was saying before. Frank Miller has been accused by a lot of comic book fans and others of being somewhat of a misogynist and a fascist, and I think those themes unfortunately come through a little bit in this particular work. A lot of the characters, or at least the main characters, come off as sort of male fantasy kind of stereotypes. They're not without complexity, and it's not like terrible, but it doesn't work that well for me. A lot of the women I think are objectified, and that's probably partly because it's mainly from the male's perspectives. But nevertheless, I do think it's kind of troubling, and there isn't a lot to it other than that, and that's mainly why I just don't know who I'd really recommend it to. So that's what I have to say.
I do have a lot of the same problems that you do with it. It's a really enjoyable movie, I think. Even if, like, it's not the best people in it and stuff, like, it's visually amazing, and I love the action, and I love the colorful characters, and I just kind of got lost in that, and I had a really fun time with it. I, more than probably anyone here, can just kind of enjoy a movie and just have fun with it, even if there's, like, bigger problems with it.
I will say I was lost in the world a lot, and I was impressed by it, but I was just troubled with it at the same time. So I just have a certain amount of trepidation with this kind of material.
And it also worked because the characters were very likable. The main dudes were all very likable. So, you went along with it, and that's like the main thing with action movies. As long as the dudes are likable, then you can get with them in the action, and you care about them and stuff. So I think it worked pretty well. It isn't a great movie, but I enjoyed it a lot. So.
You have a problem with like this, misogyny and stuff, but that's just kind of the way the world is. Like it didn't even come off as like abnormal to me at all. It was like, yep, this is pretty much how society is right now. Obviously we don't have these, at least as far as I know, we don't have these ridiculous storylines going on, but the way males are viewed in society and the way women are viewed is like very, like, it's just real to how life is. The movie's called Sin City, and we live in we live in like a really troubled world. Not that I'm religious or anything, but like, there's sin everywhere, and people, that's the way people look at men and women generally, I feel like.
The only thing about it's like don't know if there's any female character in the movie that isn't a prostitute.
Well,
Oh,
there's
well,
something
I mean-
wrong with being a prostitute. I mean, they're
Yeah,
like
but it's like
empowered
that's, like,
prostitutes.
every female in the movie is a prostitute, so it's kind of like reducing females to
Sex objects.
like that's just what females do. They sexual stuff, and that's like all they're good for or something. But I mean, that's where it takes place, revolving around this prostitute.
Yeah, I mean, it's
part of
Sin
the
City.
city.
That's like the whole
So-
thing. It's not like they're gonna go off and become lawyers and that's gonna work in the story.
Right. I mean, it's not. It never says in the movie that those all the females in the city are prostitutes because it's revolving just around that area. But it's still kind of, you know, when every female character happens to be a prostitute in the movie. And I would say Frank Miller, it does seem he kind of has this traditional view of, I guess, male and female roles. Like when Mickey Rourke's character is talking about the one female he's with when he's trapped down, captured by Elijah Wood's character, how she reacts to, you know, getting really upset and then a few minutes later kind of forgetting about it. But I don't know. I didn't mind any of that much. For me, I really enjoyed the style, how they really tried to make it exactly like a comic book. I mean, a movie like Watchmen, which I really love, that was fairly close to the comics. Even like some scenes looked shot for shot, but this was even taking it a step further and really pushing that. Some people didn't like it. But for me, I wouldn't want every comic book movie to be like that. But
Well, every comic book isn't like this. I think it's important.
no, but I wouldn't want every comic book movie to just try to take a comic like picture for picture almost.
Right. Yeah.
But for me, it's like a break from normal movies. It's like, yeah, I like to see something different once in a while, even if it's not something I'd want every movie to be like. So, for style alone, I love this movie. And what you were saying before about the acting, I noticed that too. I think it might have been intentional. Sometimes how the acting was a little bit like. Almost like it's from a play or something sometimes.
Yeah, it's just a little.
But
It's partly, I think, Miller's dialogue is always very like almost simplistic, and it's when you're speaking it as an actor, I think it's kind of hard to come off right.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Bruce Willis is like a very seasoned actor, but like I don't know, just some of the lines were just like it just sounded very much like a beginner's acting class reading out these lines.
I think part of the thing is that stuff that sounds okay on paper won't always in a movie. But for
Yeah.
me, by the time the movie ended, I was kind of used to it, and it was just sort of part of the world, so I didn't really mind that much. But I think, especially at first, it was a little jarring.
Yeah.
I
Like you have that guy narrating it, and when the narration starts and it starts out in that style, it just like kind of like pushed me back a little bit, and I was like, wait, what? I didn't really get it, but by the end of the movie, I wasn't paying attention.
yeah, and I really loved how all the story parts came together. It was really fantastic. You can't really credit that to the movie as much as the original comic, but I haven't read the comic, but I assume it plays out like that as well.
It's poetry, man.
I knew there was a reason I got out of bed this morning. Hey!
No idea what to say. Some way we can wrap this up.
Just kind of like re-say everything you said briefly.
Yeah, reiterate,
Why
I
would you
guess.
want to
To
re-say it?
reiterate, just
Like, do people
briefly.
need to, like, are they
reiterate
daft? Do they
exactly.
need to hear the same words again?
Well, it's like you know when you're writing a paper, usually.
Yeah, but I hate
sum
writing
up and-
paper.
We could just flip it and take the beginning and put it at the end.
I did maybe want to add one thing, but that's not really a good way to close it.
If you like the video, like the damn video. Subscribe for more.